So, I'm gonna say we should probably either go try to find Variable's mom's, like, books to look up and see if there's anything to do with, like, other supervillains that could manifest ghosts, or we go talk to Norman's dad.
What about, going to where your brother said the lake?
Well, we probably don't want to go there before alerting it, because if it's over our heads, then...
I'm just saying that is technically one of our, an option.
Oh, no, yeah, no.
Oh man, beach episode.
I don't know if it'd have that feeling.
Did your parents have like a cabin? Or was it just like a
day trip to the beach? Yeah. It was just like a day trip to the lake in the summer, so...
Well, I mean, 2 out of the 3 options, really Stryker can't help with. So, he's not going to really throw have a horse in this race.
I mean, as long as it's just no... I'd be okay with telling my father.
Well, and didn't you ask him to do research into, like, other entities that could control ghosts?
Yeah, he gave me a few names that wouldn't have...
That was control water.
Oh, yes, that was...
Yeah. So...
I guess I should probably tell him we figured that one out, huh? So I guess I got a combo. And...
We could do that, and then we could go back up to the lake.
Well, unless Thomas wants to do something with his
My mom herself is locked up, so that's out of the question. But I could definitely see about any books that would be at home.
I'm not sure if this danger has gone past personal. Is this something we should notify, like, higher-ups about? Or is it something you think we should just go and see?
Probably still just at the level for us to deal with.
Well,
Yeah, you could probably mention it to your father that we figured out that it wasn't someone manipulating water, but we have a lead and we're going to go investigate, so that way if we do end up over our heads, someone will know where we're at.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I was just wondering.
Also, I will say, Thomas, whenever Dream Eternal talked to you and you mentioned like having a ghost, he did say that seems to be going around right now, or something to that effect.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, and we did see the other person.
Not to mention, because the danger is personal doesn't mean that we can necessarily handle it.
Yeah. Can we
notify? I meant less. I meant more like. I mean, I don't believe he gave me personal contact information. If it's something my father thinks he can probably get in touch. I was more concerned, is it our duty to tell other heroes in the means of trying to get them to come out and see? I'm fine with telling my father, just so we have someone who knows where we are if we don't come back, but...
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
Probably not. If this is an enemy that's targeting Five specifically, bringing a whole bunch of people will just make sure that they will never come out.
Well, that's the thing. Is it targeting Five specifically? Or was it the brothers' will?
Either way,
Or-
bringing like more than a handful of heroes would have any negative force. Withdraw it. Unless it's confident enough to take out a whole bunch of heroes at once, in which case, I mean, that's a completely different problem.
Well, Stryker, you're our leader.
What?
You're the
He
leader.
just looks at all of you like, wait, that happened. And then this size is like, well, the combat. I can give a combat perspective, since I guess this is a fight that at least isn't with a goddamn ghost, hopefully. I say it with the amount of information we have right now, we should avoid alerting too many heroes. Not to mention, this is a personal situation, and I imagine that we'd have to share her family situation to explain how we got most of this stuff in the first place. I'd rather avoid that if we could.
You're right. I forgot about Fee's parents. If we inform heroes, they'll no doubt be questioned. That can't happen.
Yeah, so let's just try to keep this on an us level with a backer to pull out at everyone in case things go sour. And then, if it turns out scouting that the enemy force requires more heroes, then we can go gather people then.
Fee nods. That sounds good.
So I should still notify my father about our whereabouts, just in case.
Yeah.
I think this time he'll send a text just to make it a little, like, casual, just so he's not worried. But it'll just say, don't worry about finding water user. We've got a new lead. We're going to whatever the name of the lake was. I'm sorry if there's a name.
Lake Milano.
Yep.
Lake Milano. Should be back, tonight or tomorrow. We'll message you if things.
He responds back, copy on the text and leaves it at that.
Okay. Well, how are we getting there? I haven't been there personally. I don't think I should be the witness.
I mean, Godfrey's probably still outside.
He is.
Right.
He is.
Oh, God.
No, just starts walking out there.
Stryker, sit in the back. I'll talk to him. I'll keep him engaged. That way he won't bother the rest of you.
By all means.
So as you all head back to the car, he's waiting. Thomas asks, where to now, sir? Everything handled here?
Fee sort of walks up and smiles. Yeah, everything's handled here. Thank you so much.
No, not a problem. That was very interesting. All the water. That was... I hope your belongings are well.
Oh yeah, how's the state of the house?
The house is fine. The water didn't actually mess with anything. It was kind of floating above it all.
Yeah.
You just saw the water. The door was open most of the entire time, so the water filling up, getting pushed out, and all that stuff was very visible.
Mm-hmm.
Fee just sort of laughs and says, well, I'll be happy to tell you all about it if you'd like.
He just kind of cracks this big smile real quick, and then it goes away like he's struggling to not, and just, if it's not a bother, ma'am. He said, with failing to hide the enthusiasm in his voice.
Not at all, Godfrey, not at all.
Now, where to? For all of you?
Pointed.
If it isn't too much trouble, we'd like to go to Lake Milano. I'll be more than happy to tell you the entire story of what happened here on the way there.
Oh, a 3-hour drive. We can cover quite a bit.
Yes, we can.
Very good. Are we leaving now, or do you have other business to attend?
I believe now would probably be for the best. Is the car gassed up, ready to go?
Yeah, we can fill up on the way.
Fee just sort of nods. Yeah, I guess that would be fine. So what would you like to know? She asks as she starts to get in the car. Ushering for like Stryker and everyone to like quickly pile in the back seat while she's got him distracted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As everybody piles in and shuts the door behind everybody, and then he gets in the driver's seat and he just looks over as he starts the car. Everything, ma'am.
Yes, that's what I promised. And so she begins to tell just about everything. You know, talking about how she got her powers, talking about everything, just to keep him as engaged and focused on her as she can.
Yeah, he seems surprised when you go that far back. He was assuming it would just be the story about the house and whatever that was behind the water, but like he's very much enthralled the entire trip over it.
I think while they're having this conversation, Stryker's gonna try to catch Obsidian Shade's attention.
I mean, I'm not going to be ignoring you.
Yeah.
So.
And kind of looks to Fi, who's busy talking, and says, okay, I need you to make me a promise.
He stares at you a bit questioning.
He's like, if it turns out the situation spirals out of control, you should get the other two out of there first. When it comes down to distracting the enemy and staying alive, I'm better than the rest of the three of you.
I don't see why you need to distract them if we're all... I can just portal everyone away.
I'm just saying this in case there is a situation where that's not going to be possible.
If I need to save people, You didn't need to tell me that.
Just saying, I'm not.
I put a hand on his shoulder and just said, and if it comes down to it, if you have to leave Godfrey, he can handle it well.
Is he coming with us, or I he was just sort of parking and, picking us up?
I don't know. I can't count on how excited he'll get. So I don't know where he'll be, but...
Stryker just rolls his eyes and just says, kind of looks at, fucking God, I'm so bad with hero names. A variable, and says, that goes for you too. Priorities should be disengagement if the enemy's too strong. Unlike last time. He kind of gives him a pointed look.
I don't even say anything. I just look away like,
Yeah, he just relaxes and says, good enough. And he kind of sticks to himself and tries to mentally prepare himself. Since this is probably going to be a rough fight, really, no matter how it goes for him, as Man, the more like fucking esoteric and wide-reaching the enemy's abilities are, the more likely it is just Stryker's gonna get tossed around.
As y'all were having that conversation, whenever Variable like low key mentioned Godfrey's name, you saw him kind of like it draw his attention briefly. And I imagine that when he was like, "Oh, and did I tell you about the time?" and it immediately got his attention again.
Jesus, he's like my dog.
Wait, he's like driving. He hears his name. He just turns around.
Well, like, look back in the mirror. You can kind of pay attention in the back.
Next thing we know, Godfrey's gonna be peeing from excitement when he sees us next.
Hopefully not. Because then we're gonna have to sit in a car of that.
How do you know he's not peeing right now?
Really all there is hope to sustain that thought.
Well, I'm certainly not going to ask questions, so let's just keep moving.
So it is probably the longest 3 hours of most of your lives so far.
Oh, actually, that's all asleep.
As you tell him a part of the story, he has like 15 questions before it moves on to the next part. A lot of the questions will be answered if you just waited and listened.
Oh, so he's like my students.
Sure. Question mark at the end of that. Eventually, after the trip, get farther away from the city, out more into the country, and kind of pulls up to this rather large lake. It's more or less closed off this time of the year, being October. It's not that it's closed, it's just not as trafficked as it is in the summer. It does seem to be pretty empty. No other cars or anything around in the parking area. The weather is pretty nice out for this time of year. The lake looks pretty much like you remember it. Fee, the old kind of cabin for the lake ground caretaker off to the side and of it. The beach area is all cleaned more or less. Very little litter about. It's very well maintained. As he kind of pulls up the car to a stop, and I believe we've arrived.
Thank you so much, Godfrey. As she starts to just sort of quickly but as neutrally get out of the car as possible.
He's like rolling to a stop. The door's already open.
Stryker doesn't waste his time being played. He just steps out of the fucking car. He's like, I've listened to this way too long.
Yeah. Thomas just does a little salute and.
Does Thomas do that, or does Norman do that?
Oops, sorry, Norman. Sorry. All these very mundane stackhouse.
I was about to say, I'm more impressed that you mixed your own character with another character in the group.
Oh no! Remember the first Stackhouse was Thomas Stackhouse. No, Lucas. Oh, I'm never wrong. Never mind, I'm sorry.
Did anybody wake Thomas up?
Please tell me I'm not just left in the back seat.
Godfrey.
I'll take good care of him, young masters.
Yeah, that's on
North. I'll shake you awake.
Oh, hey, are we there?
Yeah. You almost fall out.
Fee starts to start to make her way towards the groundskeeper's area, looking around, not really sure what she should be looking for, but still sort of just scanning the area, looking for anything that might seem different than when she was there in the summer.
Other than the lack of people, it looks, as you remember, and as you look around, you do see the area, the rocky area where your brother's body had been found. You have to pass right by that area to get to the cabin. But nothing seems out of place or anything, again, other than the lack of people. But for the time of year, that's not unusual.
Right. She sort of just grits her teeth and starts to walk towards the cabin, just set on trying to deal with everything as quickly as possible.
Everyone else?
I mean,
I
Stryker's playing guard dog.
Yeah, I'm just following her.
Okay. Yeah, so it's a pretty good distance from the parking area. You make your way around to the cabin. The shades are drawn on the windows, but you can see light inside. Door is closed. The cabin itself it's old, but it's not in a bad, worn down shape. It's well maintained for its age.
Sophie turns back to the group and she looks at them. So, I figured we'd start asking the groundskeeper if he'd seen anyone sort of lurking around. Might not be much, but he's the one who's around here the most, so maybe he can point us in the right direction.
Is he amenable?
What was that?
Is he amenable? I asked V, who then might ask you, because
I mean, I never really interacted with him that much, but I can't imagine he'd be that hostile.
I was just wondering if he was in the society we live in, he might very well just be like a mud monster or something. Who knows?
As far as I know, he's just a mundane human being. I mean, I could be wrong, but as far as I've ever seen him interact, he's just an old guy who takes care of the grounds around here.
Okay.
Shay, can you do whatever the hell it was you did at her house to check for ghosts? I don't really understand what the hell happened in the last couple,
Well, the lights are on and it's day outside, so I can't really sense any shadows at the moment. Unfortunately. Unless they're hiding in the shade of the house, I don't think we're going to get many answers, at least until nighttime.
When Stryker mentioned that, Fee just sort of nods, and she decides that she's going to try to use her powers of awareness and try to use that as a starting place. And so I'm going to roll for burn, and then I'm going to use elemental prowess.
All right.
That would be a negative, so I'm not going to do anything.
Great start.
How many conditions do you have right now?
Oh, man.
Technically, on a miss, I now get to hold 2 burn and mark 3 conditions.
Yeah, that's why I was asking how many do you already have marked?
Are you at right now? You should be at. Are you at 5?
I'm at 4.
Good.
4 before marking or after marking?
After marking.
Oh god, this is not a good position to be in. All right.
I know.
I would love to help you, but I'm not the one.
It's okay. So I'm gonna go with. I was already afraid. I'm gonna go with angry, guilty, and insecure.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, the afraid was from the events of the last session when she was freaked out about the ghost possessing. Angry because she's still, like, she just found out that someone else was in charge of killing her brother. Guilty that maybe she should have been able to protect him, and insecure, is she actually going to be able to do anything to avenge him? So all of that sort of plays into her character. All right. So I'm going to spend one burn, and I'm going to ask, using the water that I have around.
Do not do that. Elemental awareness also marks a condition, if I remember correctly. You will put yourself to where anything will take you out.
No, it does.
Yeah, it does. Crap. Never mind.
That's a little... It's very dangerous.
I mean, as long as you don't take the condition ones for take a powerful blow if it happens, you'll be fine.
I mean, all right. Yeah, theoretically, you can do it.
But I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, it is all up to you, of course.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you do take Hopeless now, that means you would also be bad at unleashing your powers, which you'll have like a -2 to literally everything you try to do.
But,
Yeah,
let me ask you this. Would Fee, not you as a player looking at the mechanics, would Fee care about the fact that it might push her to her limit?
No, she wouldn't.
Norman would throw out there, if we're planning on talking to the groundskeeper first, maybe we should just wait until afterwards, and maybe it'll be night. It's like 3 or 4 o'clock right now, right?
Yeah, it's about 3:30ish.
We don't know if he'll offer us tea or something. Either way, even if we do find something, then we'll lose out on whatever information we can get from him if we're going to go.
She sort of reluctantly nods, but you can see that she's still sort of got her fists clenched, and she's not completely ruling it out that she'll do it in the future. Just right now, she's like, fine, we'll talk to the groundskeeper, but I'm getting answers. One way or another, I'm getting answers.
Of course.
So she sort of tries to put on a neutral face, and she walks up to the cabin and knocks on the door.
You knock, and you can hear some kind of rustling inside, and probably close to a minute passes before the door finally opens. And as you remember him, he's you guess probably in his mid-70s. He's wearing some jeans and a simple plaid button-up, kind of long sleeve, and glasses on his face, his short white hair kind of combed back. Yes, can I help you?
Hi, my name's Aaron. I was wondering if you'd seen anything strange around the lake. I was up here in the summer when the accident happened, and I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
Oh, the accident, the tidal wave thing, is that what you mean?
Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I haven't really seen anything strange since that, or before that, really. We get sightings of people claiming they saw Bigfoot every now and then, but these people will believe anything. No, haven't seen anything since then. mean, talking to the officials and everything else, they don't really know what caused that. Some people think there was a seismic event, but I unfortunately don't know for sure.
Yes, sir. It was my brother that was lost that day, and I'm just trying to figure out what happened. I'm just trying to find answers.
Hearing that, you see his face just kind of get a little bit more dour, and I'm sorry to hear that. I understand looking for answers. It was a terrible tragedy. But unfortunately, nobody has been able to tell me anything about any sort of facts behind what may have caused that.
And you haven't seen anybody lurking around? Maybe, I don't know, this close to Halcyon City? Maybe it was one of the villains?
I mean, I occasionally see people flying overhead, but nothing that would constitute lurking or trying to hide or anything. If they are, they're very good at it, and I haven't spotted them.
Okay, I'm very bad at this, but can I try to pierce the mask? I just want to avoid. I want to do anything Stryker can do to avoid the worst case scenario of evil groundskeeper.
Go for it.
You forgot there was one person who could always be at the scene of the crime. Me! Damn, that was actually a lot closer than I thought it'd be.
It's me, the mud monster.
And I'd have gotten away for it too if it wasn't for you meddling kids.
Yeah, I mean, you're not great at reading people, but he seems genuinely, he seemed to genuinely get bothered whenever she mentioned, she was the sister of the kid who died, like, in a upset kind of way, So, I mean, as far as Stryker can tell, everything, seems hunky-dory as far as the situation goes.
Yeah, he's hating his past day being full of situations he can't punch. He doesn't know what to do with himself.
He was just hoping he could punch an old guy.
I mean, hey, it's better than what he's doing right now, which is standing around hopeless.
That's the one condition I don't have.
Would you or your friends care for a cup of tea or anything? You came all the way up here. I feel bad that I can't help you out more.
All according to Kate.
What was that?
No,
that was out of character. I couldn't hear what you said.
No, I don't.
He just said all according to Kate Kaku.
God damn it, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah, I still didn't catch it.
All according to Kate Kaku. Japanese. Further feeding into the evil groundskeeper aesthetic, but we can't play that break because it's not even out well.
Fee just sort of looks over her shoulder. I'm all right. I don't know, guys. Do y'all want something to drink? He's offering us.
We can get back to investigating if it'll make you feel better. I know you must be a bit anxious.
I mean, I feel bad dragging you out up here. If y'all need to take a break, please.
I'm fine. But you guys feel free.
I'm here for you. I don't need a break.
I like tea.
Godfrey just walks in. Oh, I'm so thirsty.
He just sort of hugs Stryker. And walks back out to look at the lake, leaving Thomas and Godfrey for their tea.
Well, Godfrey stayed at the car.
Oh, I straight up take the tea with us.
No.
As you start to walk away with his cup of tea after you walked away and came back with it, and you should start to leave. Can you let me put that in a different cup, please? That's
Don't steal the man's cup.
I'm gonna bring it back.
Nature's cup.
I suppose it's okay. He seems really bothered that you're taking his cup.
I'm so sorry, sir. I can't take him anywhere.
Yes, just please bring it back.
I promise.
I will personally drop off your cup, sir.
Thank you. I apologize for not being more use, but if you have any other questions, hopefully I might be able to help somehow.
Do you know of any trails around the lake?
There are a few hiking trails that go up through the forest. And he kind of points in a couple different directions where a few of them start. They're on various sides of, like, basically each side of the lake has one or two starting points for different trails.
Do you happen to remember where the origin point for the tidal wave was?
Yes, it was in the middle of the lake. Right.
He nods as you say that.
Underwater lake machine to me.
Yes, like as you said, it seemed to be in the middle of the lake.
Were there any investigations within, or was it external? People think.
You keep cutting in and out.
Sorry.
Was there investigation in the lake, or did they think it was done by external means?
Well, they sent a team down to check. I mean, you can never be too safe or too precautious or curious. And these times, with all the wacky weather control and all the other crazy super science out there, but they didn't find any artificial means or anything like that. And even though I'm told there was no evidence of a seismic event, other people still believe that's what it was. I don't really know for sure. But to answer your question, yes, they, as far as I know they've sent people into the lake to check for a source, and I'm sure other things were done as well. I don't know all the science behind all those fancy tests they do.
He smiles. Thank you so much, sir. Please don't let us interrupt the rest of your day. You will get your cup back, I promise. She looks over at Thomas and looks back at the groundskeeper and smiles again.
I just lock eyes with her and take another drink.
He just kind of like puts his hand on your shoulder lightly, and yeah, thank you. I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you, sir.
And he turns and goes back inside, shuts the door. You kind of see the curtain kind of move as he eyeballs Thomas a little bit, and then the curtain closes.
Well,
I want to see if I can create an air bubble around our group and go under the water.
Okay.
I am going to spend my 2 burn to take an automatic success via overcharge.
All right.
And I am going to, just like I was able to sort of maintain an air bubble around myself, I am going to do that to all of us. I'm going to usher for the guys to stand close and be like, all right, guys, we're going to go under the water, and we're going to see what's under there.
All right. Is the sun in the spot where there is shade cast by the house?
Yes.
Okay. I just take mental note of the area that would be covered in shadow in case we need to make a quick.
Oh yeah, there's shadow all around, and if nothing else, like all the inside the fort, right inside the forest area, like is almost nothing but shadow, of course.
Okay.
We get in that deep, dark water. Truly, Obsidian shades shall be of his paramount strength.
Alright.
Everything is shade down here.
Okay, so as soon as Thomas is done with his tea.
You can take it with us.
Okay, but if the cup ends up on the bottom of the damn lake.
Are you gonna create an air bubble around the tea too, so the lake water doesn't get into it?
I was gonna create it just around the four of us.
Because I was assuming you like, are you talking about a big air bubble or like individualized air bubbles?
Individualized.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see what he meant, like around the head or around the whole.
Yeah, I was gonna create like individual sort of air bubbles around.
So you're all able to move on your own, separate from each other. You're not in one giant bubble stuck together.
Right. I think that would probably be for the best, depending on what we find down there.
Okay.
And I don't want Stryker to have to pop the bubbles in order to punch something. So it's just over like the head, neck area.
Okay. Yeah, so as you start going and as that area starts hitting the water, that forms the air bubble around it as you all submerge. And the water is very cold. Thomas, are you taking the cup of tea unprotected into a lake?
I mean, yes. Common sense would have said no, but I'm doing it.
Okay.
Side note, it's been empty this whole time. I finished it on the first gulp.
So you're just a dick. Got it.
Sophie starts to move directly out to where she was. And then she starts to sort of dive under the water.
Okay, yeah. The water itself is fairly clear on the surface, but you get further down, more dirt and debris kind of up, and the darker it gets just from the sun stopping to pierce as far down. As you make your way down, you see scurries of movement every now and then, but it seems to be just fish and natural life under the water. Go ahead and roll. Well, you can say roll assess, but for this particular situation, nothing quite fits. You can kind of come up with it.
Detecting something underwater.
Well, if you're just looking, I mean, if you're using your powers more than to figure something out, I would need more detail on that.
Because I'd imagine for those two, for both Vi and Obsidian, since this just is in their domain, it would probably be closer to Freak, since that's extending your senses.
Yeah, I was gonna say once we get down enough, I'm gonna just cross my legs and sit down and try to focus on my shadow senses.
Okay. Yeah, so y'all make your way down. I guess, what exactly are you looking for, or per se? That's kind of what I was going to do the assess for, to get specific questions.
Well, again, I think it would stand out a bit if my shadows could sense the ghosts. I know we haven't really confirmed that yet, but that's what he's banking on. Other than that, if there's anything artificial on the floor of the center of the lake. I know he said that they did some surveillance, but he just wants to make sure.
Okay, and Fee?
Fee's just gonna sort of like reach out in the water and see if there's anything that feels like it shouldn't be there.
Okay, both of y'all go ahead and roll Unleash.
Oh, it feels good.
Okay.
No red.
I'm gonna. Well, do you want it? I guess temporary, like, or mark a condition to get a longer term feel.
I'm gonna go with temporary.
I'll mark a condition. I'm
Okay.
free of conditions.
Fee, as you kind of reach out through the water and getting a feel for it, nothing in particular stands out. It feels like a lot of rocks and debris on the bottom, everything else for the most part. But you do get a brief blip in like one direction of like kind of the water moving down underground underneath the border of the lake itself somewhere. Yeah, you get a general direction, but not a precise pinpoint of it.
Okay.
Norman, as you reach out into the shadows, you have a better literal view of things, as dark as it is, and you do see that there are some artificial things on the lake bed, but it's more like junk that people lost. You see, like a shoe. You see half of a car. And you do feel a general sense of unnatural kind of darkness, though, permeating from pretty much everywhere. It doesn't quite feel like the same thing you've been sensing with the ghosts or anything, but it does feel in that wheelhouse, like maybe something kind of supernatural-ish.
Okay. Like more illusion or more like or
You cut off at the end there.
more illusion or more aura sort of thing?
Yeah, more like an aura of this,
Okay.
something just like tainting the area.
Fee looks back at them and sort of points in the direction she felt something not right. She said, "There's something over there."
Something feels weird. I don't like the darkness. It's different. I think something's down here.
Well, that fit more in line with what we expect's going on.
Well, I mean, if he's got a more concrete lead than I do, I guess maybe we should go there. It could maybe be what's going on.
I mean, I just, there's something wrong over here. The water's going somewhere it's not supposed to be.
Well,
I don't know.
I'll take point and we'll head in that direction.
Okay, so as you make your way over there, you're able to, with the flow of the water, pretty easily pinpoint, since you kind of have an idea of what you're looking for, where it's at. But there's this large boulder basically lying on the lake bed that you can feel the water seeping around behind it and through it. The boulder seems to be blocking wherever the water's going.
Everyone turns and looks to.
Yeah, kind of like, well, I guess I'll try to move it then. And tries to fucking haul the boulder out of the way.
Fee's gonna assist him, do some teamwork to utilize the water to help push it as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can I reach out and like just try to make it more likely that it's loose and movable than like grounded?
Well, let's see if I fuck this up first. We might not need that. Probably will though. Freak's not exactly what I'm best at.
Say with both
So
of
is
them
this
helping,
you
give
said
it
was
a.
blocking-
Oh, sorry.
Never mind. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say with both of them helping, go ahead and give yourself a +2 with it.
Yeah, I'm willing to take the condition to get it moved.
Well, I mean, it's able to move it enough to see a large opening behind it. If you want to take a condition to completely move it, not just have it enough to squeeze by, then that's fine. It's your call on that one.
Yeah, sure. I'll take angry. It's not like, oh no, I have a -2 to comfort and support, which I already have a -2 to. I'm gonna be good at it anyway.
Okay, so yeah, especially with their help, you're able to get a pretty good grip on it and move it aside and away from this fairly decent-sized hole that it's covering that leads into a really dark tunnel.
Yeah, looks to Shade and he says, "Me and you should take front, and the other two stay in the back."
Yeah, looking in the tunnel, really the only one who would be able to see it all is Obsidian. Fee could probably extend her senses using the water to give a type of blind sense, but
Yeah.
Yeah, but if there's something dangerous coming, Stryker's the best to try to block it.
yeah, I'm just pointing out like about basically Thomas and Stryker are blind down here.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah. Every so often, I'll try to turn on my dark vision using shadow senses if that's something I need to actively do.
You can just roll it once, unleash once, and then give it basically
Yep.
just vision.
Fee's gonna do the same to make sure that they're not walking directly into a trap.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if it counts.
Hey!
Oh, there you go.
I'm gonna hold Fee's hand. Can't see shit, guide me.
Fee grabs onto his hand. It's all right. I got you.
Fee, you can sense as you reach out that the tunnel kind of goes for a few hundred feet at least, and then dead ends and opens up to, you can feel like the edge of the water hitting like an air pocket.
I'm gonna tell them, guys, it's a couple 100 feet down, but there's an air pocket up ahead. If we can get to there.
And Obsidian, as you kind of move into the darkness using your powers to see, the tunnel seems pretty rough around the edges. Doesn't look to have been made with an instrument of any kind, but every now and then you'll see what looks like a series of like kind of marks in the wall, like something's trying to like claw type things dragging along in the mud of the wall.
Does this still feel like the weird darkness?
Yes.
Okay.
And so as you go down the tunnel, and it is kind of down for a bit, and then it kind of curves back up on the other side of the tunnel, you do eventually come up into an air pocket. And Obsidian is, again, more or less the only one who can see. There's not really any light in here, but it looks to be a large kind of underground cavernous area with no discernible entry points besides the tunnel you're in. And give me an assess real quick. gonna kind of use it like a perception again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does seem to be a lot of debris and rubble and junk, like kind of like the junk you saw at the bottom of the lake, kind of collected up in here, piles of junk every so often.
It's sort of hard to get a grasp on anything. It's a lot of junk in here. It's just a cavern. Is there like a way through, or is it just like a big room?
It looks like it's just a big room. There's, of course, ground after you get out of the tunnel, and you can get on solid surface and everything.
When we were in the tunnel, I saw some cloth. The fact that it doesn't look like there's an exit means there might be something in here I just can't see.
No.
I look up. It's like first reaction to any big room, just look up.
It's a typical kind of cavernous roof. You don't see anything that looks to be out of place or unnatural, though.
This would be a great new base. Anyone else think so?
I can't see a damn thing, so I don't really have an opinion. But can Stryker pull himself onto solid ground?
Oh yeah, that's easy enough.
I think he's just gonna keep his eyes closed because fucking, what are they gonna do? They just listen very carefully for breathing as he starts walking on the ground.
Okay, and Thomas, what are you doing?
I guess if I'm on land, I might feel a little bit more confident, so I'd let go of Fee's hand, but otherwise not much.
Okay, Thomas, give me a unleash roll.
Blindly walking is probably the way you can do them.
Shit.
Okay. Yeah, the breathing is there's quite a bit of it. Obviously filling the room from the four of you. Nothing that sounds odd to you though, Stryker. You do stumble every now and then as you kind of hit a rock or a pile of.
Was that Unleash meant to be for Thomas or for me?
That was for Thomas.
Okay, I was like, very weird. He rolled something, but I got results. I was like, wait, what the fuck? Just what? Okay. No.
He's gonna get to it. I tripped and I broke the cup. Watch.
Well, like honestly, it was because his luck powers in general just means lucky. So if somebody were to happen to find a flashlight as they were walking around stumbling, that would be lucky for Thomas, even if he wasn't the one who found it.
Oh shit.
So it's still in the dark because he failed his roll.
You are the most unlucky, lucky son of a bitch.
Right. Isn't it great?
Nothing about lucky says it's gonna be good or bad.
It's true. Though, I mean, to be fair, the man has already been Eiffel Towered. That's not an indication of how terrible his luck's going to be.
It'll always go back to that.
Just like it always keeps coming back to me waterboarding that subbitch.
Well, we keep things on a less dark path. So there's nothing that seems to be like larger breathing around us. Then there isn't like some big creature around.
Correct.
That's okay. That is one worry striked off, I guess, for now.
Every now and then, you stumble into a pile and you hear stuff just kind of scatter across the floor. Fee, what are you doing?
Since everything's still so damp, I want to try to continue to use my powers to try to get a handle on anything that I can, if I can feel sort of like the water vapor shifting because there's someone else in here in the room with us, whatever it is, I'm going to try to use the water as much as I can.
Okay, go ahead and roll Unleash. Temporary unstable or market condition?
Temporary.
Okay. Reaching out the moisture in the air and everything, and you kind of get like a daredevil-like sonar pulse of the room. They're using the moisture in the air a couple of times, and from what you can make out, general shapes and everything, you see your friends, and everything else seems to be rock or just little piles of junk. Nothing that seems to be a creature or anything like that.
Can I see a way for us to continue walking?
You did not pick up anything like that.
Okay.
Hmm.
Man, it'd be really great, Lucid, if you could finally give Stryker a situation where he can do anything else. I'm like, man, fuck, I don't know what to do. This is yet another situation that happens to not be the same as the other ones, but another one that I can't do anything but be like, well, hopefully someone with powers does something useful. I'm finding a nice rock here.
Hmm.
Oh, no, you're the one with the shadow powers. You actually
Yeah,
have
I
the
know.
best
I'm thinking. I mean, like, I could probably just pop out and actually get a flashlight so other people, if we want to risk the only person who could actually see down here leaving for a minute.
Do
But
it. At this point, we can't see shit.
all right, I'm assuming that we just sort of like left our phones on the shore, unless crazy modern technology, waterproofing is unreal.
Either on the shore or with Godfrey.
In hindsight, we probably should have also had that airboat.
I
Well-
didn't want it to make us not be able to punch something, and then all of a sudden everyone's drowning.
Mm.
Sure. I'm gonna go grab my phone. Does anyone want anything while I'm out?
Why don't you get all of our phones?
Okay.
Could you help me find the other two? In case something comes, it's better that I'm close to them.
Fee walks.
What? I mean, sound.
Fee still sort of sensed where Stryker was. She walks up and she grabs his hand.
Well, that's one.
Thomas? He just says like a little.
Fee just sort of waves her arm out, continuing to use that temporary sense she has, and she just tries to grab onto the back of his shirt.
Marco,
Okay. Well, I thought someone got him there.
You can see. Why are you worried?
Well, I'm assuming it was temporary, so I'm a little like, Okay, you guys got each other. Marco pull out, and I'm gonna try to create a portal back to the shade of the house and pick up our stuff.
Okay, go ahead and roll Unleash.
Yep. Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, you just kind of like vanish in place where you're at in the cave, and kind of reappear in some of the shade near where you left your phones, and they are not there.
Oh, it was compensation for the teacup. Did the tide like rise or something? Is that a thing that
No,
happens?
they
Like,
just
I don't
they're
know.
just missing.
Is this a thing where the portal's already gone? Can I go back through it, or?
Nah, I mean you can go back.
Well, I was wondering if it already left, I didn't have a reason not to just go ask for a flashlight.
Yeah, I mean if you don't want to go back right now, I probably would have you re-roll to get back down there.
Okay, something's happened here. I gotta check with the. He's the only one that would have seen anything.
I'm gonna ask Godfrey for his phone.
Well, I'd still have to re-roll to get to go.
Yeah, that's gonna have to happen no matter what.
Well, then I'd have to roll again to get back to you. So I'm just trying to minimize the chances.
So what are you doing?
I'm just going to knock on the door of the house. Sir?
Yes?
Did you take our phones? We left them out here because we went...
You keep cutting off at the end of your sentences.
Okay.
Did you take our phones? We left them out, because we were gonna investigate under the water.
Am I actually cutting out for everyone, or?
It sounds perfect for me.
Yeah, for me it sounds like you're like letting go at like the last few words of every sentence almost.
I'll try to hold down for longer. I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, what he said is, did he have our phones?
No, I wouldn't have any use for those sorts of things. Old Trusty over there, and you can see behind him where he's pointing on like a table stand next to a chair, like an old landline phone, rotor dial.
Do you perhaps have a flashlight I can borrow? It's getting pretty dark. It won't get ruined or anything. We'll be back in just a minute.
Like my teacup?
The teacup's safe. You know what? If we didn't take it with us, it would have gotten taken with our phones. We're keeping it safe. We're protecting it for you. We need the flashlight to secure its safety.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 1 second.
Trust me, groundskeeper. In order to keep your wallet, we need your wallet to keep your flashlight safe, to keep your teacup safe. I swear. Trust me, it's all important. You'll see someday. It's all connected. Can I also have your social security card? No reason.
Yeah, he walks off and turns a corner, you the other side of him, and he comes back with a old, like, cheap Walmart plastic flashlight. The ones that they technically light things up, but they're still pretty terrible. And here you go. Anything else? Do you need my kidney?
Well, don't. I don't know.
You don't know if you need my kidney.
No. I'm sorry. I just feel bad. We're not trying to rob you. We're just trying to help a friend. I'll be right back with your teacup.
From down in the cave, I get some psychic resonance. That old man fucking shit.
I
All right.
run around the corner.
And the door shuts behind you. Like it's a very hard close, not quite a slam, but harder than the first time he closed the door after y'all talked to him.
Okay. Man. He's making it harder to feel bad. But yeah, I'm just gonna run around the corner, try to get out of the side of the window or anything, and try to go back to the cave.
Okay, go ahead and roll Unleash again.
Oh, please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna feel bad if he's understandably upset about the situation.
Yeah, you're able to. You're able to get back easily enough.
Okay, yeah. So I got a flashlight, but it seems like someone took our stuff that we left. It wasn't the groundskeeper, the lake keeper. He did let us borrow this flashlight, though. He really wants that teacup back. And then the portal closes right behind me as I barely get through. Well, I guess I'll have to wait a second.
By all means, please turn on the flashlight.
Well, I think this is probably more your guys' forte, if one of you wants to.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, I can see. I don't know where you want your eyes to look, so it would probably be better if you
Just take
hold
the
it.
fucking flashlight and turn it on.
There you go.
Christ almighty, you could have just turned it on first and then I'd take it.
As you turn it on, it kind of flickers a bit, and it's like that, like I said, that very dull, piss poor flashlight light, but it's more than enough to at least help you see more in a low light, given how dark the area was.
Is it doing like the horror movie flicker?
Every now and then it flickers, yeah.
Can I assess the situation now that I
Yeah. Go for it.
Please, Christ, someone get us out of this situation. Thank God.
Yeah. So as you're looking around, you see, like in the piles of junk that you knocked over when you're walking blindly, something kind of an odd color texture kind of stands out to you as you kind of get closer and look at it. That does appear to be a skull of what looks to, based on the size, probably a child's skull.
Quickly turns the flashlight away from that one, so that no one else can notice it past him. Is there anything else?
With that, now having been found looking around, you kind of looking for some more specific things. You do find like an occasional bone that appears to be like a human bone here or there, parts of other skulls. Not a large amount, but definitely more than 2 or 3.
So
it looks like some sort of feeding ground.
Yeah, he kind of looks up and says, "It seems to be the nest for a carnivorous animal. There's a lot of skeletons here.
Carnivorous?
Eats meat. Come on, man."
That wasn't what I was saying, Stryker. Wasn't her brother found not eat?
Yes, he was. Thanks for asking, Stryker, not me.
Well, he brought up carnivorous. I'm trying to wonder about what this could have been, how this could have.
I mean, just because some of the people in the tidal wave died doesn't mean some aren't brought back to the... That might have been a secondary thing to the main intent for the action. This is obviously a feeding ground.
Yeah, I know there were many others injured. At least 21 that I know of.
Any of them missing?
Honestly, I didn't investigate that deeply into it. My guilt got the better of me.
It's fine.
Would your brother have wanted us to come here to avenge the dead?
I don't know. He may have only been trying to tell me that I didn't kill him. I don't know.
Well, either way, this is a situation that we probably should deal with whatever has been killing things down here, especially since a lot of them seem to be children.
Absolutely.
Well, what I'm worried about is what took our phones.
Probably.
A carnivorous beast probably doesn't just go pick up phones.
Hikers walk by, they see 4 smartphones. They pick them up.
How long were we down there?
You're making quite an assumption that this beast isn't, well, a lot more humanoid.
How big were the gashes I saw in the tunnel?
With the stories that were with what you were just told, now you connect that it was probably like its victims clawing to try to get away as they were dragged down there.
Gotcha. So what are we looking at? Maybe another water user? Considering the tidal wave and the underwater layer?
Well, remember what we did fight. We have seen shape changers recently in the city. Remember how we came together as a team?
I think it's a little bit hard to determine what abilities it could be. If I've learned anything from the professor, there's a large variety.
Exactly. We need to find it and we need to deal with it regardless of what it is.
Mm. I'm just trying to find out, because if the rock's there, the boulder was blocking the path. Was when he lifted it up, it wasn't locked into the mount. Could it have been just placed over the hole?
Yeah, it very well could have been.
Mm. Well, if whatever took our phones was this monster, and this monster has any modicum of intelligence, he could probably read my text and find out that we are either looking for it or already found where it. We might not get the sneak attack we desire if we're staying.
I mean, it depends on how willing you are to hide. There's enough around that we could probably hide in the piles of junk, but that might be a bit unpleasant for the rest of you.
If it means dealing with this creature, I'll do anything.
I'm at home here, and Fee has water. Thomas can. Well, I have a feeling he'll be fine. It's you that I'm worried about. It's not really your battleground of choice.
Like I said, I'm good at surviving. Under that, purview of the survival role, would I be able to just find a decent hiding spot? I'd imagine it's not that hard, to just kind of find a mound where you could hide under it and just look more like, another dead thing in a big mound. And
I mean, you wouldn't look like a dead thing because you're fleshy and all the stuff has been stripped clean. Anything that had run down here would know that obviously it didn't bring you. But between rocks and junk, you could probably obscure yourself fairly decently.
This doesn't need to work for a long time. I just need to not notice me long enough for me to hit it first.
So yeah, I mean, it would be possible to kind of, like I said, obscure yourself somewhat, to not just be blatantly standing around.
Yeah, I mean, kind of just go about doing that.
Fee's going to instead go and get into the mud in the water and bury herself sort of in the mud in the water.
Okay.
Since that's her element, since that's where she's going to be most useful, so she can hit it from behind with her powers, she is going to just go and make herself a nice little burrow and try to lay down as much mud over top of her and stay as still as possible under the water with the mud.
Okay. Obsidian, Thomas?
Yeah, first Norman would ask Thomas if he needs.
No, I think I'm good. I'm gonna, I guess, kind of do the same as Stryker, sort of bury myself as well as I can under a pile, but still be able to see.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pull my hood up and activate my shadow cloak stealth and try to just merge with the shadows of the.
Okay, so yeah, Fee, you're able to bury yourself pretty well in the mud, and Stryker and Thomas, you do pretty decent jobs of trying to blend in, and Obsidian, you pretty much become invisible in the shadow as you all just wait and wait and wait. You feel like how long do you plan to wait? Because you feel you feel like at least an hour's passed already and nothing has come back.
I feel like we should have put the boulder back.
Not at this point.
Well, yeah.
If it's already aware that it's
That we were looking for it.
yeah. Then he'll just come in here, be under the impression that we didn't find anything and left. I mean, I guess it's a test of the other people's patience. Stryker can just wait. He doesn't care.
Fee's fine. Fee's here on a mission. She's more than capable of just relaxing under the mud, preparing herself, trying to deal with and process everything that's happened.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, another hour passes. Another. You feel like you've been down there at least 5 hours now and nothing.
Well, either we keep being patient or maybe find some way to track our phones. That's the only thing I can think. It might have just left. If it is a shape changer or anything, it could have just as well gone into the forest instead.
If it's a shape changer, it could also just be like living in a house.
Yeah, on the side of the lake.
Stryker just says, another way that's not really, that'd be up to you and you three to decide on. I can't really track a phone. So.
Well, we could just track the person who took it. I was in a bit of a rush, worried for you guys. I didn't check if there were footprints or anything.
I get the impression that there wouldn't be, but sure.
I mean, we could wait here the whole night. It's fine with me.
How long has it been again? How long have we been in this cave?
You're probably down there for 30 minutes or so before you started to like the hiding, and the hiding I've been down there for. You're guessing about 5 hours hiding, waiting.
Okay, so assuming Godfrey didn't leave. Because his ass has probably been sitting in the car this whole time.
It's what? Probably. What was it? Like, actually in the day? Like 9 o'clock then? Or?
It'd be about 8 o'clock outside now, 8:30ish.
That's the biggest problem. Like, it'd probably come at night if it were going to come at all. I mean, I literally don't know. This is outside of my.
That's sort of the whole thing.
Norman, is there any way you could go back to your house, track your phone, try to get a location on like the GPS, and then come back and let us know? Because I'm assuming you have GPS enabled on your phone.
Yeah, if it wasn't taken underwater or otherwise turned off.
But you could see where it was when that happened.
Connor doesn't know, but Norman would probably say yes.
You can. Well, I'm saying you can see the GPS records of where you've been.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it'd be like vague area type stuff, not like pinpoint to the exact point on the Earth, but.
Yeah, you could see if they immediately turn the phones
like,
off. Yeah. Or if they're walking around with them, or what's going
on. If you guys are okay without me for a little bit, we won't have a way to communicate. I guess Fee can help you get out of the cave if need be. Well, yeah.
This is the best lead we have.
Alright, yeah, if you're going to Shadow Porter out, then go ahead and roll Unleash.
Okay, I will do that. Oh, that's why I can. Oh,
Yeah, you pop out in a darkened corner somewhere in the Stackhouse Manor.
yeah, I'm probably a little dirty from waiting around 5 hours in the.
Yeah, also kind of soaking wet, dripping on the floor.
Yeah.
Well, no, you wouldn't be soaking wet anymore from the 5 hours of waiting, but you are damp still.
I walk out and try to find my father if he's.
He's in one of the in the living room area, kind of watching the news. And is it handled?
Not. Unfortunately, we went to the lake and there was an incident a while back. A bunch of people were injured. My teammate's brother was killed. We thought that there was some sort of being creature down in the lake. We seem to have found its lair, but in the process, we think it stole our cell phones.
How did it get your cell phones?
We had to go in the water, and rather than let it get wet and ruined, we kept them on shore. When we found its cave, I went out to get some lights to help the others see. They were already gone.
He just kind of nods. And so you left your team behind?
It was their idea. I was a bit against it, but we think that maybe if we can track the phone, if we have the means to, it's the best way to go about it. And we've been waiting in that cave for 5 hours now. It hasn't returned.
He nods and give me a second. He pulls out his phone and he unlocks it and taps a few things, and he shows you the screen, your GPS coordinates on your phone. It shows it at the lake, roughly where you were, and then it just kind of stops shortly after you all ventured into the water. Like it just disappears. I guess you'll be needing another phone.
Oh, I hope.
Take one of the burners out of the shop. You need to contact me. Do you need any assistance, or are you still confident you and yours can handle it?
Honestly, at this point, we're not sure what's up. We can only guess. Again, as long as I can get another phone, I'll contact you if things change. Right now, we think maybe we can handle it.
And he nods, and just let me know.
Yeah, I should get back to them.
And so, you make your way down and get one of the other phones that he has set up for, emergency in case stuff happens to the previous one. Because hero game, people lose their phones fairly often in battle. I'll let you get back on that same freak roll. That's fine.
Well, good news, I got a new phone. Bad news, the old one's been turned off or destroyed pretty much immediately after we went in the water. I didn't get any more information out of it. So either we go on Stryker's hunch and wait the night out and see if it comes back to rest, or we try to go back up to the surface and see if we can track it from there.
The only other living creatures we've seen are some fish and the groundskeeper.
Yes. Was that a start to a theory or a...
I mean, pretty, I think the point was that maybe the groundkeeper is the problem.
Either he's the problem or he's hiding something.
He was annoyed, but I think it was more about the teacup.
I take a big swig of lake water out of that teacup.
I'm pretty sure she's pointing out the fact that moments after leaving our phones, it was gone. The only people really knew about the phone was him.
Or us. Yeah, and him. We didn't see anyone else. We didn't. None of us picked up on anything else. It was us and him with opposable phones. That's it.
If it had been an extended period of time, we could have chalked it up to maybe a hiker, but moments after really doesn't leave a lot of leeway.
No.
Hmm.
He knows more than he's telling.
Could take this search, take the stake out above ground, maybe look for his house, wait for him to go to bed. Maybe I'll be able to sense if there's anything resembling our phones once he turns out the lights. Or we could just confront him directly.
How about this? We bring him his teacup and his damn flashlight back and we ask him some really tough questions. They can get us in the door.
I'll drink to that.
Maybe we take the teacup hostage. No.
This is getting very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
let's get back up to that house.
How are we going about that? Portal?
It's up to y'all. I can handle the cold water. I don't know if y'all want to be cold again.
I mean, I feel like we've probably been cold this whole time, so it's whatever.
I do have this new phone, though, so maybe... Well, you know what? I'll just see how it goes, and maybe it'll work. And I'm like, everyone get on. It's probably faster anyways. Get us closer to the house. I'm gonna try to pop a portal back up to the beach. Get a lot of use out of this.
All right, and try to bring everybody there, or are you just teleporting through the shadow yourself?
I mean, I'm getting everyone close.
Okay, yeah.
I can, but, you know, sometimes weird things happen. So, we'll see.
Temporary or market condition?
Do I really want a condition for this? I don't know what temporary means, though. It probably just means I can only go...
One of us gets trapped in the cave.
I'll mark a condition.
I think that would have been unstable, which is why he didn't let us pick it as an option.
Well, yeah, temporary or unstable. Yeah, it's the same thing in my mind. But, no, that's exactly what would have happened, is somebody randomly would have been trapped in the cave.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to just mark angry and let us all come out.
Okay. And yeah, it's as you reach out to the other end of the shadows and everything, there's a lot more to play with because it's a lot darker out, so you can... You pretty much have free reign to kind of pop up wherever.
Yeah. Then, in that case, maybe
Inside
run away
of
from
the
the house.
skull of the groundskeeper, instant kill.
It's just bisect him. Yeah, just around the shore.
Okay, so yeah, y'all all pop back up, and as you kind of look around, you can see the car is still there. It looks like Godfrey's in the driver's seat. The lights in the cabin, there, a couple of them are still on.
Well, guess we better return his things. See what's going on. As we pass by, I'm assuming where our phones are. I would like to just check it out, see if there's any obvious trails.
Nothing that doesn't look like it may have been your own, the four of you on your own feet walking around that area.
the lightkeeper didn't have like a peg leg or something.
No.
He looks at them. Here, give me the teacup and the flashlight. Stryker, you come up with me.
You know,
And
it's gonna sound, I guess, out of character for me, but maybe we don't want to come in too angry for this.
no, we play it cool. See if we can get him talking a little bit. See if we can look around and see anything suspicious.
You know,
He seemed to be the most, at least outwardly, sympathetic to me. Whether or not that was an act, I don't know. But we'll bring him his teacup and his flashlight, and we'll go from there.
Well, we can always feign anger. Well, not feign anger. If we go and start talking about how annoyed we are or how pissed we are that there's something else eating people, we can try to measure his response to that instead of just outwardly asking him questions.
Or we could pretend we beat it and see how he responds to that.
That's also a good idea.
What do you think,
Okay.
Stryker?
Nonsense. Sounds good to me. That, though, it kind of requires someone with a more eye for emotional subtleties than I have.
Right now, I'm a
Well,
bit shaken.
Well, if nothing else, it's worth a shot.
alright. Sophie's gonna grab the teacup and the flashlight and walk up to the groundskeeper's door and knock on it.
And Stryker was with you?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as you knock again, you hear some movement inside. The door opens, and yes, seemingly very kind of irate.
Presents him his teacup and his flashlight. We told you we would bring them back. I'm sorry it wasn't sooner, sir.
As soon as he sees both of them, his mood lightens, and he grabs them. Oh, thank you. This teacup means a lot to me, and oh, thank you.
You'll be happy to know that we've dealt with what was in the lake.
What was in the lake? The fish?
No.
You killed all my fish?
Fee sort of frowns and sort of shakes her head. No, there was something in the lake, something much, much bigger than your fish. It was what caused the tidal wave. It's been eating people.
He looks to be a little confused. And what caused the tidal wave has been eating people. What?
There was some sort of monster. There was some. I don't even know how to describe it, but it was living in a cave under the lake. But it's taken care of. It won't bother anyone again.
I don't know. I've never seen a monster in the lake, but I feel I should call the authorities if there's a creature down there, even if you've stopped it somehow.
It will never bother anyone again.
I understand that, but if I feel like the authorities should probably be involved.
God, I'm so bad. Can I try to pierce the mask again?
Yeah.
If we get like a 7, man.
Actually, and after you do it, I'm gonna pierce the mask as well. We're gonna both sort of see if he's playing in. Here. Yes, I got it. Got a 9.
God. Just ask him if we ask the question, what is he intending to do? I assume that would fall under the purview of trying to deflect the query, or disengage from the conversation as fast as possible. I assume that's the best one for trying to suss out what's going on with him. Might be wrong though. I don't know. Intended planning are one of those ones where it's really hard to tell what the difference is.
Well, what are you really planning is like, are you trying to lure us into the house to
Yeah.
do something, or intend is,
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out
I guess that is sort of the same thing as,
if
Yeah,
he's
I-
trying to bait us into coming into the house, or if he's honestly just does not, like, is honestly wanting to call the authorities because he's truly concerned that there was something under the lake.
How sinister is this plan that you are actually really planning?
Yeah.
You can tell that he's not entirely telling the truth. Like, he does seem to be lying or picking up some subtle hints, some subtle body language that he might be kind of telling you what you want to hear.
as in like stupid kids probably making stuff up. I'll just go along with it, or
More like if they're telling me the story, then I'll just play along with it so they don't find anything else out.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's worse. That's what we play. Man, is this guy a mud monster?
Fee sort of smiles. No need to do that. We've already alerted Aegeus. They'll be sending a containment unit up to do a full investigation tomorrow.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. I can't believe there's something down there and I've missed it all these years.
Yes, that does seem strange. How long have you been the groundskeeper again? I've seen you here for years.
Oh, yes, it's been years, decades, really. I've kind of lost track exactly how long.
In all time, you've never seen anything strange.
No, nothing like that. No, it's really quiet up here. That's why I enjoy it. Well, that and the government pays for my housing to come up here and basically keep things clean, and it's a nice gig.
I'm sure you work real hard to keep it that way.
I try. In the summers it gets a little hectic now at my age, and my grandson comes and helps out from time to time, but usually...
Your grandson? What's his name? I've been up here every summer since I can remember. Maybe I've talked to him.
I really should have thought of a name for him at a time.
Well, I mean,
Shit, is this guy Professor Oak? This is my grandson. What's his name again?
His name is Ash. It's short for Ashley.
Ah, Ashley.
And when he kind of walks away for a minute, comes back with a picture. This is him. And you have seen him around in the summer during the peak weeks.
How many hands
Was
does
he
this kid have?
around? Was he around the day of the tidal wave? Can I remember seeing him the day of the tidal wave?
You think you remember, but it's kind of a blur. But if it was during it was June and during peak time, there's a good chance that he was.
Steve looks up at the groundskeeper. He was there that day, wasn't he?
Yes, I believe he was.
I want to break this guy's teacup so bad.
No, dibs. Fuck you.
But I'm so angry, I need to break something.
can I try?
And Fee
Would
just sort of
would
looked
you?
at him.
It's kind of cold out. Would you like to come in and talk some more? I can put some more tea on.
But you like
Actually, yes, I am pretty thirsty.
Thomas, you like the tea, right?
He's not there.
Oh,
Damn it.
I was actually going to say, if y'all wanted to go back to the car, Obsidian Shade could try to port into the upstairs or port into the back of the house and investigate and see what he's hiding.
Oh shit, that's a good plan.
Like, you act like you're just going to go back to the car. Stryker and I will go in for some tea. Or Stryker, Thomas, and I will go in. And you go around the back.
Man, if only we had a way to communicate that to them, huh?
I know. Damn it.
Okay,
I
wait,
should
oh,
have learned how to blink in Morse code.
The one time that we all don't have phones, so that we truly don't have a means of like passing on messages.
wait, so what's...
You two weren't with us.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
y'all-
thought you just were in front. I thought I was with you. Okay, no.
No, they had y'all two
No,
hanging
we
back,
went up to the door. Yeah.
Okay.
trying to not intimidate him by having everybody just show up, being like, "What's the deal, old man?"
Oh,
Right.
gotcha. Sorry, I was
Yeah.
mistake.
And Stryker's purposely stepping in the trap because he's pretty confident this motherfucker can't kill him in one go. So
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that either he or his grandson is the chupacabra that we're looking for.
yeah, this will let us look inside the house. So yeah, he accepts the invitation inside.
Yeah, and Fee goes in too. Because she knows right by the lake she has plenty of water that she can use to slam this fool around, so she's not worried about an old guy. And she's pissed. She's
So,
gonna break everything in this damn house if she has to.
so y'all walk in, shut the door. Thomas and Norman, y'all see them go inside, and the door shut behind them. He leads you all to the kitchen. There's a little table set up, and chai, Earl Grey, English breakfast, some chamomile. Any particulars?
Poison.
Yeah. I
No,
mean,
what-
chai would be nice. But as soon as he puts that teacup down in front of me, I'm using my powers to sense if there's anything in there other than tea.
He makes the tea, and he pours 3 cups and gets a piece of ice and puts one in his, and it lets me drink it faster and cool it down a bit. Would you like that as well, or no?
Fee just smiles and reaches out to take both her and Stryker's teacup
Oh, here
as
you
a way to
go.
cool it down to drinking temperature and to unleash her powers, which I'm rolling now,
Okay.
to see if there's anything in there other than tea. Is there
No.
anything other than tea?
Water.
Mm.
All right.
Can I assess the situation?
Yeah, and as you're rolling that, and you're taking the teacups, and he's kind of stirring with the ice a little bit, then you just see him take a sip out of it and sit down at the table with you.
Let's see what the exact questions for assesses. If there isn't anything applicable for a question, it still asks us. It still counts as something that is asked, right?
What do you mean?
Like, for instance, if I was just say like, what here can I use to break his facade? Since we already know that he's telling half truths. If there's nothing like that applicable, is that just? Do I just waste the question, or?
I mean, if something's like not applicable, or if there's no like real answer, I guess. I mean, I'm not. I get you say. I guess I'm not quite getting what you're asking. Like, can you make up a question, basically?
No. Like, I just like, for instance, that question I just asked. What here can I use to break his facade? If there isn't actually anything in the environment that I could use to like break his composure and like expose him, would that question be mute?
Oh yeah, that would count as your question, and it would basically be nothing if that were the case. Yeah.
Then maybe what here's the biggest threat? So let's see whether or not this man's actually dangerous.
I mean, you don't really know if it's him or the grandson, but you know Fee's not a threat, so I mean, he would be the biggest threat.
Man, this is the problem with fucking this situation questions. They're so fucking slippery.
I know some people like when like some GMs like go super meta with it and like basically reveal like the entire plot, but I feel like it should be something that would be actually discernible by the character to some degree.
Well, yeah, well that's the problem. Like, there's only so much I can like. I can't see the environment around me, so I don't know sometimes which of these questions would even work at all.
Yeah.
God.
I mean, it is a
You could
kitchen. There are, of course, knives and stuff around like that too, and all that. But they're not gonna.
I mean-
I asked the question. Now I'm just kind of stuck where, like, again, like, Travis, am not smart enough to think of a way to properly provoke this old man, so I can't really do anything with this information.
At this point, Fee literally chugs her tea, and she slams her teacup on the ground. She's so angry, she just slams it on the table. What do you know about what killed my brother? We're not playing games anymore. I'm done. What do you know, old man?
As you slam the teacup down, he gasps and, please be careful with that. My wife got me this set.
Answer my question. What else do you know? If you don't tell me, I'll shatter every teacup in this house.
The tidal wave, the one who died, only one died that day, and I was told he was bashed on some rocks.
Yes, but what happened? What else do you know? You know something you're not telling us. What do you know? And I better be very happy with your next answer, or this teacup's shattering.
I don't know. They researched
Choose your words carefully. She stands up and she just starts to pull everything. All bit of her power that she can just to glare at this old man because she is done.
He sees the water and you caused the tidal wave? You killed your brother?
No, but I'm about to cause one, and I'm going to break everything in this house. You don't tell me what's going on here. What was under the lake? What was that?
He just kind of drops his head, and you see what kind of like looks like almost like a tear kind of splash onto the tabletop from it as you threaten everything. And I knew I should have just taken you, you little bitch.
Oh, well, someone said the magic word. Stryker's going to do what he does best. Finally, my moment is arrived.
Norman and Thomas are just waiting for all the windows in the house to just explode outward.
Yeah.
The sonic punch that's about to happen.
Can I do good old game face and send this man through the fucking wall?
Oh,
Sure.
While we're waiting outside, it just turns to him. You ever wonder why we're here?
You know, what's the chance that we're just gonna add, like, destroy old man's property to our list of
You know, I think somewhere deep down there is a slight bit about guilt about what he's about to do, but not enough to stop him at all. He's going to fucking eviscerate this old man, and directly engage by taking him by the fucking back of his collar and just immediately fucking almost taking his body as like a human battering ram into one of the walls.
Go ahead and roll in a China shop, I guess, if you want to use that one.
Definitely do. Fucking let's ruin a fool. And
your +1 for game face.
yep. Whoops, that a 1, not a 10. Oh boy, this guy's gonna have a real fun fucking time.
All right, so options.
I guess resist and avoid their blows. Create an opportunity for my allies by giving them a good old opening through the side of the house to hit this man. And I want to take some bones. I'm not really. I don't know how many good ones I can take, but I want to take some of them. I want this man to suffer as much damage as humanly possible through this act of violence.
All right, so Fee, as you hear the old man say that, before you can even react, even though you already have the water, Stryker is just a blur of action as he grabs the old man and just like body checks him through the countertop, through the wall, and they both come smashing outside the cabin, tumbling to the ground underneath. Stryker, you can feel like bones kind of crunch underneath as y'all land. As y'all tumble to the ground, and you kind of tumble a little bit past as he kind of pulls himself up and, you have it too. I'm going to have fun eating the both of you.
Let's see you do that without teeth.
And as you say that, his mouth distends unnaturally large, and his teeth kind of grow into like these large fangs as he kind of hunches over and lunges at you. But you're able to sidestep. As he kind of speeds past, not ready for the speed at which you moved, and that'll be the resisting and avoiding his blows part.
Yep.
The moment he lunges for Stryker, Fee is going to pull all of the water out of the lake, and she is going to slam it directly into this motherfucker. You took one brother from me. Like, fuck, you're taking another.
For all the water, you would need a full hit. So, go ahead and roll Unleash, or actually directly engage.
Norman's just playing with this new phone. He just accidentally takes a picture. Horrifying scene.
Fine, I don't get all the water.
You only get some water.
So as y'all are, Norman and Thomas, as y'all are kind of sitting there talking and everything, and you hear the loud crash, and then you see two figures kind of come out of the side of the cabin, and then just a huge amount of water just kind of rise up out of the lake and form like this pillar that just smashes down on top of one of the figures and just keeps going and going until it's finally done. And as it clears, you kind of see the figures kind of cratered in the ground a bit as he starts pulling itself up, moving with this unnatural motion back to its feet.
I just shout, I knew it, and I run at him.
And what do you plan to do?
I'm gonna kick him in the head.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and roll to directly engage.
This can only go amazingly.
God damn.
Yeah, you know what? Stryker's gonna help him.
Oh yeah, let me throw some team out there.
Yeah, so Fee is obviously she's pushed him as far down into the water, and she's gonna into the ground as she can, and she's gonna use some of that residual water to try to keep him stationary, so that everyone can just knock the fuck out of this bastard.
Yeah, I guess we all have the same goal. I guess I am the leader since I started the fight, so that's another one. I'm pretty sure it's a dangerous enemy, so that's 2 more. Isn't that like the net 4?
Yeah, I think so.
Of which I'll spend 1 to mechanically give him a +1 by watching fucking, once again, variable do something completely out of form, and he just watches him, and he's like, God damn it, we talked about this. And he runs, and like, kind of just, like, when it was obvious that he wasn't going to get enough air to actually meet the kick properly, he just kind of pushes him up and gives him support so that he can properly kick this man in the fucking face. But it's like, why the most impractical move possible?
So Thomas goes running up, and you can tell like he's gonna do something way beyond his skill level. And as he leaps into the air to try to kick him, you do manage to lift him up some, as the old man with his distended mouth is still looks slightly out of reach. He takes a step and suddenly slips, and he slips forward, falling face first into his foot, which then in turn knocks him backwards to the ground. A couple of his teeth shatter from the impact as Thomas kind of stumbles back, landing. And as the old man is on the ground there from that, his eyes just kind of go wide, and he's like, You're the mother lode. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this.
Oh, you remind me of a lot of creepy people I've had to fight in the past.
Obsidian.
Yeah, so this guy, his mouth is all like open.
Like it's horror movie, eat somebody's head large, yeah.
Okay. Well, honestly, seeing how like vicious Stryker was right off the bat, he knows this guy did something wrong. He's not fully comfortable with just straight up attacking a full man or an old man, but he's definitely comfortable letting other people do it better. So he's going to run up to behind the old man and like have shadows sort of form around his arms, and then as he like thrusts his arm forward, they extend into this like these long shadowy arms, and I'm essentially just going to like full Nelson him with these arms, and let other people, fire away.
All right, roll to directly engage.
Okay. Could this be pulling my punches since I'm not actually physically?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. So your options, obviously, one, take his mobility, basically.
Yeah, just pull away his arms. So I got 2.
Probably resist and avoid his blows.
Yeah. Since I'm going to try to be keeping a bit away with the longer arms, I'm going to try to not be in his range of attack.
Okay. So yeah, as you kind of move into position behind, kind of get kind of close, and his head whips around to try to take a bite out of you, but you manage to move past before it connects, and you do your thing, and all of a sudden he's like kind of upright, captured by the shadow form, seemingly held in position, unable to escape. Then he's just, oh, I can't wait to feast on the 3 of you.
Oh, like hell, that's happening, old man.
Oh, Stryker has one hell of a directly engaged that he wants to do.
Go for it. You're next.
Okay. Clench your teeth, motherfucker. Your entire day's about to get a lot worse. All I need is 1. Come on, friend. Good. Always consistent. Well, he seems obviously like one of those fucking creeper perverted types. So Stryker knows what to do. He fucking reels his leg back. Since this man can't move due to the shadow binding, fucking give him a kick to the nuts so fucking hard it breaks his fucking pelvis. Let's go, buddy. Let's see how great you feel after this. I'm gonna take his nuts. Goodbye. Motherfucker.
Yeah, as your foot connects to your target area, even with the shadows there, Obsidian, you feel like you have to actually exert effort to keep him in place from the force of the kick holding him down, as the old man just wants to go up. As
That was like full wind-up penalty soccer kick.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking that, like, when another man witnesses it, their entire body goes limp almost. It's like, oh God.
uncalled for.
Turning into a duck.
He just fucking stares at him, and The second one. Oh, man, I don't even know if this boy even has a blow to give. I'm just gonna frighten him because it's very clear Stryker has no qualms stopping, but with doing another and more. He's skilled enough to do it multiple times.
All right. Fee.
Fee's gonna step up, and like she can control the temperature of her teeth, she's now going to try to superheat the water molecules in this man's body.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Unleash.
Full hit.
Jeez.
It's getting a little warm out here. It's unseasonable. That damn climate change. It's hot. It's hot. What are you doing?
And Fee just continues to stare into his eyes, not blinking.
I just wanted to feast on your magic.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Remember the last guy that wanted to do that? We slammed him through a booth.
Yeah. I fucking put a 14-year-old cancer patient through a stall, and I shattered the nuts of a 70-year-old man. Truly, my fucking heroic prestige only grows greater every day. But Stryker, seeing this change, is going to look at Fi and say, "Do not kill him."
That'd be too good for him.
You can see like his skin kind of starting to bubble in places from the heat.
Oh no.
And immediately Fee starts to pull it back, but she still leaves him uncomfortably warm, asserting that she'll continue the moment he tries to act towards Stryker or any of her friends.
And he kind of whimpering, looking at between the three of you, Stryker, Fee, and Variable, and just a little taste. You have magic to spare, but any of you, just a little of your magic, please. I'm just an old man trying to get a meal.
You know killed my brother.
I'll show you a little magic. And fucking kicks him in the nuts again.
I'm not even gonna make you roll at this point. He's just like the same deal as before. Like you have to exert force to keep him in place with the shadows because it's just such a hard hit. As he would double over if he wasn't held in place by the shadows. And the tidal wave knocked me away from you. Hungry. He had residual magic.
Keep talking, and I'll swing my leg again.
Wait, guys. I have an idea. I just run inside and see if I can find that same teacup from earlier.
I was going to throw you the cell phone so you could record some of this, but...
Yeah, I mean, you find teacups.
No, I've been wanting to do this for a while.
Go for it. Go for it.
No, not the cup, too.
Hey. Don't worry. Your cup is safe with me. And then I just smash it in his face because fuck.
I'm assuming it doesn't take much, but I'm going to just force him down onto his knees as he does, just for the ultimate shame.
Yeah, some more shadows kind of wrap around, forcing him into that position. You have two other brothers here. What's one gone matter?
How would you feel if I killed your grandson?
He's a little asshole anyway.
Norman does like the little, like, dial it a little.
Hey, Stryker, how many arms does this guy have?
I don't know, but I think...
Two, man, so what's one gone gonna matter?
Oh no, guys.
We're letting this spiral out of control. Let's keep it to this.
I was trying to suggest break his arm for suggesting that losing a brother didn't matter.
Oh, dude, I fucking destroyed his manhood. I think Stryker's known that he's already, like, ruined. This dude probably will never be able to fucking go to the bathroom right ever again.
Well, yeah, he's not going to have any Mudman babies, but still.
I got rid of certainly got rid of one of his appendages. But, yeah, he looked like, after, like, the teacup thing, like, Stryker actually looked uncomfortable, which is...
The teacup was a step too far.
Well, like... I mean, you can ask him why later, but yeah, it did actually look like it was.
Fee nods and Fee respects it. Fine. I'm calling it Gius.
Yeah. He kind of looks to Obsidian Shade. He's like, "Can you get me out of here? I guess shouldn't really be. Well, when the authorities come, of course, the two of us don't really want to be there."
Ooh, real quick, Lucid, what is the name of that prison where my mom's being kept?
I have to double check, but I think I called it the Deep.
I just get in close, before we leave, I just get in close and whisper, if they send you to the Deep, tell Pandemonium you tried to fuck with her son. And then I just back off.
That's Pandemonium's magic?
Yeah, man! Do you not get out?
I live in a cabin by the lake. I don't even have cable.
She was famous, fuck you. I kick him in the chest again.
Well, no, I mean, he's acknowledging, like, he knew who it was, like, when he said the name. You can still kick him in the chest. I'm just saying he did acknowledge who it was. He was, like, surprised that the magic he was talking about was her magic that he sensed in you.
Oh. I was taking it more as he didn't know that she was magic. I was like, what the fuck?
No. Like, it's like, oh, that's Pandemonium's magic.
Yeah, you're damn right.
Fee goes back into the house to find rope or something and ties him up. And then...
You don't really find rope in the house. But, there's a lot of, like, clothes and stuff like that can be used makeshift.
That's fine. He's not moving that far anyway. He's pretty much done with the whole thing for a while.
Does Obsidian Shade have shadow cuffs?
I mean, yeah, but I probably have to be here to keep them on.
And Fee just looks at him, can I borrow your phone? And Fee looks to Norman, Norman, can I borrow your phone?
Yeah, so I reach one hand and toss it to him.
Take it off.
So she dials Aegeus's number.
Okay, so yeah, you arrange that call, let them know y'all have a meta of some sort captured. You're not the first time you've done that.
Yeah.
So they'll be en route.
I look at Stryker, get to the car, go sit in with Godfrey, hide in the back seat.
Yeah, that's the plan. Kind of looks a bit more calm than the slightly well, he went from angry to agitated to, well, that uncomfortable look. It's back to, like, now he's neutral, and he just heads to the car.
I need to look in his house.
Just a little taste before they get here, please.
Just don't go around breaking everything in the house.
He has something I wouldn't want Aegis to see.
He just nods.
And could you put some ice over it? He's starting to piss me off.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't seem to understand that a leg will come for him if he doesn't shut the fuck up.
Fee immediately pulls out some more of the clothes and uses it to gag him.
Weird, dumb.
And she just sort of stands over him, her hand just sort of clenching and unclenching, daring him to move again.
Norman, as you're looking through the house, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for the phones.
Okay. As you kind of search around and look, you do manage to find them in one of the trash cans. They've been shattered.
Alright, I try to gather whatever remnants of like data I can find, like a memory card.
It'd be easy if you just took the whole bag, honestly.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Oh, actually, if he's been eating magic users, can I look around his house real quick, see if there's anything that would be magically useful at all?
Sure.
Would that? Do you want me to roll assess or just?
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
No, never mind.
Yeah, you look around and I mean you don't really find anything like that. This seems to be a very mundane house. As you kind of dig around waiting for ages, you do find like a trunk that you open up that's full of women's clothing that don't seem to be like they would have been for his wife. But beyond that, nothing unusual or anything.
Okay, then yeah, I go back outside.
And he's just kind of sitting there, captured like he was, and just with this puppy dog like pity look in his eyes, like looking at Fee and looking at Thomas, like a hungry little puppy just begging for a treat.
And Fee's just glaring right back at him, not flinching for a second.
He just eventually shows up with a flying containment unit. They land near the lake and they manage to haul him in and without incident. Is there anything in particular you wanted to ask or say to them, or?
I let him know that this was the person who was in charge, or who was responsible, in part, for some of the accident that was happening over the summer, and that we came up to investigate my brother's death. And that ultimately this person was the one, at least in part, responsible for what happened.
Okay, they take it all down for the files and haul him out of there, leaving you all alone at the lake again now.
Yeah, Norman was just sitting in the car with Stryker.
And as Stryker, or as you the first one back went to the car, Godfrey just like looked like he was going to ask you a question, then like kind of saw your face and just didn't.
Yeah. Well, Stryker just stays quiet.
Surprisingly, so does Godfrey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that last confrontation brought up some new things for him to think about.
And, yeah, so Fee and Thomas.
Fee's gonna just start walking back towards the car, and she's like, the anger's sort of gone out of her, and now she's just sort of deflated. Walking back to the car, just sort of trying to come to terms with everything that happened and exactly how far she was willing to go during the fight.
And Thomas.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk back with her. If I have a chance, I want to just try and tell her that your brother. I'm sure he's proud of what we were able to do here. If I can do that as a comfort.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
Does scalding a man alive count as hurting someone?
Breaking the teacup does. But that wasn't her.
So I can click. Yeah, no.
All right. So comfort and support. On a hit, they hear you. They mark potential, clear condition, or shift labels. So if you basically accept Thomas's comfort, you can clear condition if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm gonna smile and just sort of like pull him into a hug and say thank you. And I am going to. I'm gonna clear afraid.
Makes sense.
Okay. And as you all head back to the car, Godfrey can kind of read the mood, and all he asks is, "Where to?"
This would be like a great end of movie, like a better future, God.
Okay,
But-
come on, get over yourself. Oh,
Back
gee.
home, we need to drop Fee off first, right? Or if you don't want to sit through a car ride, I can try to get you.
No, it's fine. They won't miss me. It's fine.
Okay, so yeah, it's another long car ride back. It's mostly in silence from everybody. As he drops everyone off. Or first stop is Fee's house. I don't know if she's the only one who gets out there or not, though. When you get there, your parents aren't home.
I think Stryker might stay with her to keep her some company.
I I will also get out if I see Stryker. And I just sort of tap the top of the hood to let Godfrey take off. I can get back myself. But I did want to pull Stryker aside for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
Listen.
What?
He just sort of like releases a long breath, and you see his like shoulders like. You're a good friend to Fee. You. Thanks for being there for her. She's a nice person. She didn't deserve all this.
He
just sort of turns around like, but you gotta get better in the dark, man.
Yeah, sorry, I don't have magical power. He kind of just kind of throws his hands in the air and he says, "But I should be thanking you. A lot of her situation I couldn't do anything to directly help with, and you could. A lot of the closure she found was because of you."
Well, at least you found the guy and took out.
And it kind of just has a cold smirk at that. Eyes and says, "Though if I'm honest, I don't know, something about that teacup thing felt wrong. They were apparently his wives."
Well, can you trust anything that he says? He doesn't seem to value relationships. He heard what he called his grandson.
Well, yeah, but he was very protective of them. I don't know, maybe before I met Fi, I wouldn't have cared, but kind of
Right.
like less uncomfortable.
It was weird. It was hard. I'll be honest, I sort of took the easy way out. Either way.
Yeah, just I'll think on my own about it.
He just shrugged. Anyways, practice a bit. I might get ahead of you at this. And he just sort of like gives a little salute and jumps backwards and falls into it.
Mm-hmm. This would count as. Would this count as sharing a triumphant celebration? Like, I don't even know what that move counts as. Because, I mean, we both accepted that we succeeded together in helping Fi feel better.
Yeah, I mean, we can. I mean, I almost never see those moves get used anywhere anyway, so why not?
Yeah, that's why I was like trying to.
I don't even know what that is.
This is something that would apply closer to him at least that he did, because especially since with the team move for Bull, it focuses in on the rival like love and like relationship thing, and I feel like their rivalry did come up in a more subtle manner with this whole entire situation. Because it was one where, you know, I mean, his rival could do everything and he couldn't really do anything. Which really just gives me potential. So I was like, why not?
Do it up. I still don't know what that was, but yeah.
I mean, it's not really any like it. I don't know.
I just don't.
I think really the way you were talking would have been more about sharing like a vulnerability or weakness, almost like that.
Yeah, that's also true. In which case, you know what? I'm fine with that as well. I give them influence, and I think he already has it. But additionally, I get to hold 2 for him in the future, and I can spend it to help them like team in the future, whenever. So I have two save your ass dollars. And then I'll take that and just try to spend time with P, so that she isn't alone in an empty house.
Okay.
Yeah, and the second she walked in, she went to the kitchen to start cooking food because she knows Stryker's probably starving. So she's immediately going into like big sister, gonna make a meal for her little brother, gonna take care of him kind of mode.
Yeah, I think Stryker just lets her, since that seems to be her way of coping with stuff. He's like, you know what? I've learned long ago that I don't understand most people and how they feel better. It is what it has to be done. Fine. I'm not gonna fight a war meal.
All right. And Norman headed home. Thomas, you?
Wait, was that me or Norman?
That's it. And Norman headed home, and now I'm asking, what are you doing?
Okay, because sorry, I heard it as enormous, and I was like, "What?" Yeah, no, it's as much as I'd like to say, this seems like something that's better for just the 2 of them. So I'm just gonna lay back in my seat and let Godfrey drive me home.
Okay. And so as Norman jumps into the portal, V's cooking dinner for her and Stryker, and Godfrey drives off. We'll go ahead and call it there.
Yeah. What a bittersweet end.
I don't know. I feel like it went relatively good because, like, well, there's a subtle part that we're gonna have to see how our parents react to learning that, like, B might not have been wholly responsible for what happened.
Yeah, well.
If they believe her, that's the thing.
Or
If they don't, Stryker will punch their face in.
I mean, if nothing else, it's not even so much whether they believe her. I would imagine someone like this, regardless of how much liability he has for the incident, will be reported on the news because he's killed many, many, many people.
Yeah.
That's
so,
true.
I mean, this could end. This could be the gateway to a slightly less awkward. Well, actually, probably just as awkward family dynamic, but more fueled by guilt than persecution. Because they've been wrongly accusing. Everyone's been wrongly accusing Fi in that household, including yourself, for many years. Well, I mean, for like half a year now.
Yeah, for many months.
Yeah.
Many months, yes. I got an advancement, which was cool.
I'm one away, so I might get it at the end.
through the magic of game face.
All right. So, end of session. Who would like to go first?
I guess I can go. I think he's gonna grow into his own image and shift freak down and mundane up as he's starting to realize that, like, weirdly in that heated moment he was the one with the conscience, which is like not where he expected to find himself. Like he's like, 1v1, you're allowed to do as much as you want to the enemy, but like involving precious memories of their family, he doesn't know how he would feel if like 5 was targeted because of him, so he felt bad.
All right.
I'm gonna say that Fee grew closer to the team, and I'm gonna say that because of how he comforted her as they were leaving the lake, she grew closer to Variable.
Hmm?
Let me see. I already have influence. Give me 1 second to see it. Oh, no, I can't. That's right. What are your labels like?
I've got Freak 2, Danger 3, Savior -1, Superior -1, Mundane 1.
So danger can't go up, but everything else can move.
I'll say danger down, since we found out, you didn't kill your brother.
Okay.
And I don't know, I'm torn between either mundane or superior up.
She
I'll
did
say-
dump a
I'll say-
lake on a man.
Yeah, I'll say superior up.
Okay.
Actually, no, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'll say freak up then. Yeah, you threw a lake at a guy.
In general, she seems to be accepting her powers a lot more than usual.
Yeah. All right, and I am going to clear one of my remaining 3 conditions.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to clear guilty. She's still sort of angry at the situation, angry at not being able to protect him, and she's still not sure how she's going to use her powers from here on out. But she's not feeling guilty anymore.
Makes sense. All right. Next.
Okay. Growing close to the team. I feel like I grew a bit closer to Stryker more this session. He was sort of. He liked how he took control and comforted Fee a decent amount. Like he was always thinking of her. And so. Thought that was pretty relatable of him. Whether he liked it or not.
God damn it, how dare he be human?
As for my labels, my savior can't go up, but everything's off. The rest.
I would definitely say freak up. Maybe superior down. You're a little bit slower on the uptake than usual. Like not connecting what Fee meant with like the cell phone situation. Like you weren't the head planner of this particular sitch.
Mm.
And I think the other labels you were still embodying pretty well. We all embodied danger. Beat the shit out of the 70-year-old monster.
That thing was more of I didn't know if it was a continuing sentence.
Yeah.
I got you. And he sort of let his guard down to you at the end.
I'm gonna take my moment of truth advancement. Don't know when I'll have to use it, but as always, like having it in the holster.
Yeah, it's a good one to have on hold.
I don't know what the fuck. Like I'm like trying to wrap my head around what in the world Stryker's like equivalent arc would even be. I'm like, well, I don't know if anything happening to him will provoke this, but I have a strange suspicion something happened to Phi would be how I end up using my moment of truth to probably murder someone. I want to Dempsey roll them into non-existence. I want to have the full. I want to punch someone so hard that it does make this somehow impossible, like airplane sound effects that happens in fucking Hajime no Ippo whenever he uses the Dempsey roll. It sounds like a mixture of an airplane and a fucking rocket engine. Both of those things not humanly possible.
Oh.
Thomas?
I'm gonna say closer also. Let me see. I guess in particular, Stryker, since we did better together in a fight than last time.
Yeah, someday you'll learn to just go start with the jab and then lead into a big hit. But he let you have your jump kick that you wanted so bad to the head. I'd say. What's your labels looking like?
Superior can't go down, but everything else is fair.
Yeah, I had a feeling Superior was going to be at the bottom. Well, danger up because you obviously had. I think mundane down, danger up because you used someone's like precious momentum to break it on their face, which was pretty fucking cruel.
Wait, hang on, it's cutting out. I heard mundane and then that was it.
Mundane down, danger up because you used his teacup, which was kind of cruel.
All right, there we go.
Slowly, I shall cultivate an all-danger team except for Obsidian Shade. I'm still in this weird nebulous where I do not have the highest amount of danger.
He has 2 for danger, which is strange.
I also have 2, which is strange because it's not 3.
I have -1 because most of the time I'm just restraining instead of that.
Yeah, you're letting me destroy men.
You facilitate the ass kickings.
Yeah, actually, if we really want to put some questioning stares, I did suplex the kid through the stand, but you held him still for the waterboarding, and you hold the other person still for what can only be described as a nutcracker.
Listen, I'm not saying I wasn't involved in these. I was just saying the first one was a bit of a over. I'm
just pointing out none of this would be possible without you. Thank you.
You are the reason that we have broken so many Geneva Convention stipulations.
It's the sweetest thing anybody's ever said to you. We can't commit war crimes without your help.
Just feel like talking to his dad. Truly, I don't think I would have been able to completely annihilate everything between the legs of that 70-year-old man without your son's help.
Well, then he's clearly using his powers wisely.
Yeah. Especially the part where he put him on his knees so that he'd feel his wife's cup smash his face at the perfect angle. Truly. Masterful technique.
And Fee pipes in, yeah, and he helped me waterboard a cancer patient. He's really on top of this.
He knows what a hero should do.
That's the secret legacy of Obsidian Shade. They're all just sadists.
human.
They're low-key sadists, though. They're like, we don't hurt anyone.
But
We're okay if you do.
We just got to make sure that they don't run away, We're just restraining the enemy.
I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
yeah.
Mm.
So this was another very fun session. Thank you, Lucy.
Well, thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. That was awesome.